Welcome to Tell Me More, the Allsteel podcast where design meets innovation and we explore the limitless potential of workspaces. In this exclusive series, we're peeling back the layers of workplace design. From the psychology of colors to the future of hybrid work, join us as we open doors to conversations with industry leaders, architects, and designers who redefine the modern workplace. This is Tell Me More, brought to you by Allsteel, because when it comes to designing the future, there's always more to discover.
Welcome to the Tell Me More podcast. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about sustainability with one of our favorite partner brands, Norman Copenhagen. My name is Jordan Arnold, and I'm a senior workplace advisor with Allsteel, and I'm sitting here with my good friend, Natalie. Natalie, will you do a little intro of who you are and maybe a little piece of why sustainability matters to you?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jordan, for having me here today.
Of course, my pleasure.
I'm very excited. My name is Natalie Polvere. I currently work for Norman Copenhagen. I am their central regional sales director. There's just a couple of us in the United States.
Yeah.
We are a Danish furniture manufacturer, so it's really cool. We're a small team over here, so we love doing some stuff like this. In terms of sustainability, I mean, at this point, I've been in the furniture industry pushing 10 years now.
You started when you were 2.
Yeah.
Yes, you look
Why,
great.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been a while now, and I've seen some really cool trends come and go.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed is that we don't really manufacture furniture for kind of a heritage lifestyle. We're not looking at us purchasing furniture and then giving that furniture down to our children, our grandchildren, kind of like our parents would build their first apartment with that stuff.
Right, or like the hope chest that goes with you. Yeah.
Passes on, and you're like, this is your great Nona's. Like,
Yeah.
It has to stay in the family.
Nona had great taste. Yeah.
Now we're definitely leaning towards like a more fast fashion style production of furniture. The amount of customization that is possible is astounding.
Yeah.
But that really means that one person is picking exactly what they want, and then it's kind of just ending up in landfills. Products are produced much quicker, they're produced much cheaper, and they're just not recycled properly. A lot of times furniture can be recycled.
Yep.
People just don't know how. It's a little bit more time consuming. You have to take apart parts and pieces and see what needs to go where. So yeah, just kind of seeing all of that and seeing the changes that have been happening. I've definitely tried to align myself more with manufacturers, products, designers that have a really strong sustainability focus.
I love it. We're going to talk about a couple of different products on the Norman side that have really beautiful sustainability stories, but I'd love for you to talk a little bit about Norman Copenhagen's just approach to sustainability as an organization. Like, why does it matter to them? Kind of how do they focus on sustainability as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. They're actually one of the coolest manufacturers that I've come into contact in terms of sustainability.
Yeah.
I think a big one is that we're still privately owned. So the two founders are very much engaged in the whole process, and their ethos is all about sustainability. Again, they're in Denmark. They kind of have a whole different mindset, which we could easily start adapting in America.
I thought you were going to say we could start a podcast on it.
Oh, we could totally start a podcast. It'd be called The Danes.
The Danes.
Yeah. But yeah, their whole kind of concept for Norman and the future is sustainability. They're working on not just products being sustainable, processes being sustainable, but also how they treat their employees, how they, build out a sustainable lifestyle for their team. And it's just really palpable. You can see it.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I mean, they have some very lofty goals in the next 10, 20, 30 years, but we're slowly starting to see what they're doing. Again, not only with products, we're also going to talk about some processes today too, which I think is the really cool thing.
Awesome. I love it. And what we find is that clients can have a diverse set of goals as it relates to sustainability. So when we think about ourselves as manufacturer, we're trying to understand kind of what is the breadth of those goals and how do we help accommodate and help a client work towards those, right? So we need to be thoughtful. We need to be broad in our approach to make sure that we can accommodate that for all of our different clients.
Exactly. Some people don't really care about recycled plastic.
Right.
They're like, that's not what the look I'm going for, anything like that. But then if you start talking about some of the certifications and FSC certifications and the CO2 emissions that are coming out of products and stuff like that, you can really kind of tailor in with your client and see what's important to them.
Absolutely. So I hinted at this earlier, but there are a couple of products that I get really excited about, and others have gotten really excited about from Norman that have some really, really meaningful sustainability stories. So I'd like to walk through a couple of those. So let's start with Bit. So tell me a little bit of the story of Bit and why we can think about it as this really interesting sustainability story.
Yeah, absolutely. The Bit Stool it's so cool. I personally think it kind of put Norman Copenhagen on the map a little bit in terms of the United States market. Again, we're still a young company. We're 25 years old. Some of these manufacturers are 120.
Yeah.
So still kind of gaining that traction. But the Bit Stool, when that came out, people flocked.
Yeah.
So we just came out. It's a small little stool, 16 inches high, 16 inches in diameter, manufactured with 100% recycled scrap plastic. So we're thinking toothpaste tubes, Coca-Cola bottles, your glasses, eyewear glasses, anything that you would recycle. It's kind of coming back into this product. But I think the coolest thing that they do is we only pull recycled plastic from a 2-hour radius of where we're manufacturing the plastic.
Yeah.
So again, kind of thinking it through in a larger sense. We're not going to ship plastic from China over into Denmark to manufacture these stools. It defeats the entire purpose.
Yeah.
And that being said, sometimes, I mean, the Bit Stool comes in so many fun, cool colors. But sometimes we do have to wait a little bit. So we have to wait until like enough green plastic has been accrued.
Because there's nothing applied to it. It's literally just the color of the material.
Exactly. So we don't bleach the plastic.
Yeah.
We don't dye the plastic. The way that it's such a cool process. You get in all of this scrap plastic. It's pelletized. And then, of course, AI, cool technology, shakes it out based on color. So I couldn't even tell you the science behind that.
Right.
But then you get all of the colors. You're getting the yellows, the greens, the blues, the reds, all kind of separated. So yeah, because we don't add any dyes to it, we're a little bit at the hands of like, okay, are people drinking enough Coca-Colas so we can get those red bottle tops?
Right.
But I think that's a really beautiful story in itself. Like, we're not going to push something just because the market needs it and defeat our sustainability story.
Totally. And I'm glad you brought up kind of the color variation, because there's color variation, there's shape variation, there's a lot of playfulness to the product. And I think a lot of times sustainability can feel very serious. And while it matters, and while we want to emphasize it and it's important, I love that the Bit Stool provides this like playful energy around something that should be meaningful to all of us.
Absolutely. And I think it's cool too, because there is so much variation in stool to stool.
Yep.
Even if you just got the white stool, for example, you're going to see some color variation on that. Just because, again, the way we're manufacturing, the plastic that we're getting, you just can't guarantee anything.
And that feels personal.
Yeah,
right?
It does. I think that some clients, initially, they give pushback. They're like, wait, no, I need everything to look very uniform.
Yeah.
But I think the story behind it and the sustainability aspects kind of let them loosen up a little bit as well.
Love it. And you have a couple of new products within that family, right?
Yes.
So not just the stool.
So popular. It's really, I mean, we can't even keep them in stock sometimes, which is awesome. But yes, we've extended the collection as of June this past summer at 3 Days of Design, Danish Furniture Fair. And we now have a lounge chair, counter stool, bar stool, coffee table, and another side table, all manufactured in the exact same manner with the exact same materials.
Very cool. All right, so I want to transition and talk about another product, so tangentially related within this space, but a separate product. So let's talk about the Pix Lamp.
The Pix, yeah. So we actually are using the exact same material for the Pix Lamp.
Yeah.
So we're using that scrap plastic, but we started playing around with the percentages of translucent clear plastic and white plastic and seeing how we can diffuse light through it.
Yeah.
So we now have a lighting collection called the Pix Collection, manufactured out of the same scrap plastic. We're pulling 2-hour radius from our manufacturers, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It creates, people say it kind of looks like the moon, which I love.
That's romantic.
Yeah, it is very romantic. But yeah, that's been a really exciting kind of just tangent into what else can we do with this material.
Yeah.
I mean, plastic is forever.
Yep.
We're going to be pulling it out of oceans for
a very long time.
Yes.
Yep.
So I think they're just trying to get creative. They saw such a great success with the Bit collection, and they're trying to apply it to different collections as well.
Great. All right, so one more product I want us to hit before we wrap things up, and it's a big one. A lot of energy and splash around the mat chair. We had it in our showroom for design days, a lot of really exciting energy around it. Talk to me a little bit about the story, what makes mat so unique, and why it's such a sustainable chair.
Mat chair has been so huge for us.
Yeah.
We have been talking about it now since, I think, January 1st is when we kind of started launching everything. But the mat chair for us is not only a testament to using renewable materials, it's a testament to creating new manufacturing processes that can use renewable materials.
Yeah.
So it's a chair that is manufactured out of two materials, hemp and eelgrass. Eelgrass is a native seaweed to Denmark. The parts of the hemp plant that we are using are just the stems. You know, the leaves are already really accounted for, textiles, lotions, cosmetics, stuff like that. The stem is a byproduct, so it's usually just trashed. So we have specifically chosen to work with the stem.
Yep.
And then for the eelgrass, again, a native type of seaweed in Denmark, we're actually not harvesting the seaweed. We don't want to kind of mess up any ecological system down there.
Right.
But it's so prevalent in the on the beaches over there that we just wait for it to kind of come up on the shores after storms. There's companies already kind of gathering it, drying it, and selling it for certain uses. Eelgrass has been used in the roofing industry in Denmark for some time now.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, just looking at some really interesting materials that we can use. Both of those materials also are essentially carbon neutral. So they lock in a certain percentage of carbon within themselves. So while we're using them, every chair, every stool that we manufacture is locking in a percentage of carbon, which is awesome.
Amazing.
But the process was kind of, it's actually insane. So it's been about 10 years since this idea concept started. And we had to come up with a way in partnership with another designer out in Denmark. They, I'm going to butcher the name so bad.
Just do your best.
So,
we'll put it in, we'll fix it in post, and it'll just be like a robotic voice that says it in the appropriate Danish way.
Okay. Forsum and Hjort Lorenzen.
I think that was perfect.
Okay. It sounded more Italian than
It did
Danish.
a little bit. That's okay.
That's
It's
okay.
okay.
I really, it's hard for me.
You did your best.
But so he kind of approached Norman Copenhagen with this idea about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the whole concept was like, okay, cool, awesome materials, but how are we going to make a chair that passes our, in the United States, BIFMA, that passes our strength and durability tests, all of that, out of hemp and seaweed.
Yeah.
So they came up with a whole process. It's very similar to your fiberglass chair. It's kind of that compression pressing technique into the mold. And yeah, they did it. And it's been a wild success. I think another really cool part of the mat collection is that it is a cyclical lifestyle.
Yeah.
So when it's done, even like the scraps that are kind of cut off in the and post manufacturing process, those are then re-shredded, made into our mats, which hence why we call them the mat chair. Yes, check out some images, you'll understand more. But yeah, it's just kind of, it keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
Even the binder that we use is a sustainable binder. It's such a small amount that it doesn't break that recycling process.
Yeah.
And so just thinking about, again, ways that we can keep furniture moving and not have it just kind of stall out and then be tossed into landfills.
Absolutely. And like, I don't want to be shallow about it. But again, outside of just doing good and doing better, it's a beautiful chair.
It is. Yeah. And I think a couple things happen when you talk about sustainability. You either get some really funky looking designs. People are trying to be a little more avant-garde and everything. And they're like, okay, clients, designers don't see a space for it. Or you get a beautifully designed sustainability piece and it just blows your budget out of the water.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but designers, clients will always choose budget over sustainability at this point in time. And the mat chair kind of solves all of those problems. It's a beautiful chair, aesthetically pleasing, very simple in design. We can upholster it if you want to. Obviously, that cuts back a little bit on the sustainability, but hey, you're still getting the CO2 sequestering the core of it.
You're still doing better.
Yes, you're still, yes, better. but it's also the price point. So we have several poly chairs in our collection currently. They retail for about $400 USD, and our mat chairs are about starting at $440 USD. So it's not like you have to pick and choose anymore between, the dreaded plastic or something just a little bit better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you, Natalie, for your time today.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure chatting.
This was so fun.
Thanks for joining us for the Tell Me More podcast. Appreciate your time.
And that brings us to the end of another fascinating episode of Tell Me More. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of design and innovation. If you're hungry for more insights and stories, make sure to subscribe to Tell Me More on your preferred podcast platform. As we sign off, remember that the conversation doesn't end here. Connect with us on social media at Allsteel and share your thoughts, questions, or even your favorite moments from the podcast. We love hearing from our engaged and curious audience. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll continue exploring the Design to Do More philosophy. Until then, thanks for listening.